In the astrology of January 24th, I want you to think back in time a little bit to the Sun in its conjunction with Neptune in March 15th of 2023. I want you to think back to any phases that you went through, any new cycles that begun, any dream that you sort of sensed the seed or the origin of that dream taking place. And if you think back to mid-March of 2023, and then you think to a little bit forward to about May 8th of 2023, what phase began to happen around May 8th? And think to yourself, was there an invitation that was extended to you? Was there an opportunity that was handed to you, or at the very least offered or teased out in front of you? If you've experienced something truly magnificent that happened in that time frame, what you are experiencing today is either going to be the realization of it in some manifested form, or it will be the release of it if you ended up taking a separate path. If you basically were offered something around May 8th of 2023 and you decided to go in a different direction, this is the full release of it. And if you decided to take that direction, then this is the manifestation of it. The Sun-Neptune cycle is incredibly empowering because the sun shines its life through us. It is the individualized soul, and it's shining through the stained glass window of the zodiac. And so whenever we sort of team up between the sun and its everlasting truth, and Neptune, the infinite collective consciousness and its connection with all living things, this team up becomes very powerful for our dreams and our fate, if you will. And I'm someone who believes very strongly in the coexistence of fate and free will, the way that they work together, the way that fate it will extend a path to you, and then you decide to take that path or to go off in some separate direction. And finding out over time, especially looking backwards, have I been taking the opportunities that were handed to me by fate, or have I been maybe falling back into fear, going back into old cycles, reliving old patterns? This septile between the Sun and Neptune that is happening today is going to be incredibly profound, no matter how subtle it is. It's going to be a feeling, it's going to be a moment of recognition, and a moment of awareness for all signs of the zodiac, and I would say especially Capricorn and Pisces, as well as Cancer and Virgo. You are the four who are going to be the most affected by this. So open up your charts and see what parts of your chart, which houses fall into these domains of these particular zodiac signs. Even if these houses are completely empty, sometimes that emptiness will tell just as much of a story as being incredibly crowded. Remember that with each of our houses, as we're looking over them, that anytime you have a lot of planets there, it means you of course have a lot of power there and a lot of lessons as well. And anytime you have emptiness, you have a lot less lessons to learn in that subject, maybe because you mastered them over previous lifetimes, but that is what this septile is all about. There is some thread of fate in particular that has been offered to you, and you have decided to accept it or reject it. And if you rejected it, if you think back to May 8th and you say, you know, actually right around that time, this person was offering me, a scholarship to go to this particular university. And I felt like everything in me wanted to do that, but I was curious about how that could affect my relationship that I was in at the time. I'm no longer in that relationship, and so I kind of turned it down, for this person, and that's okay, because the thing about the Septile series is we have 3 invitations and then 3 recognitions of what happened afterwards. And it's a very powerful, of course, the 7th point would be the center point, where it is that you meet in the middle of all this. So if you feel like you're looking at today's septile and you're realizing, oh my gosh, this was this huge opportunity that I turned down, I rejected it, I cast it aside because of my own fear or my own lack of comfort with feeling worthy or feeling like I deserved this wonderful path for myself. have I lost it forever? The thing about this upcoming septile series, when we have the upcoming Sun in Pisces conjuncting Neptune, is this is a new cycle that's beginning. So meet whatever you found with grace. If you have taken that path, and if you think back to it, you look back on your calendar, you look back in your text messages around that time, you look back at your social media posts, you'll probably be able to very clearly identify exactly what this is about. And the reason I wanted to do this horoscope today a little bit differently than I normally do and almost make it kind of like a mini lesson about this is because of how important this is. And the reason I talk about septiles so much, my fascination with them, my love for the sort of process that fate and free will weave themselves together in order to communicate to us, is because it holds for us our greatest path. And what you'll notice in this upcoming Sun conjunct Neptune is that a new cycle has begun. And roughly 51 degrees later, we are getting a new invitation. And sometimes that new invitation will actually be the exact same as the last one. Maybe the universe is very insistent, like, hey, go for this opportunity. We have something very special for you. You have a path that if you realize it, you would become the version of yourself who is the most loved, the most loving, and the most happy with your life and the path that you're taking. And all the responsibilities and hard work that you are doing to get there will feel like bliss. No matter how much pain or suffering it requires, it will feel like bliss to go into this path. So what I would ask you guys to do today is just think about, what is it that happened around mid-March? What happened around May 8th? What were the delightful events and the really difficult events that happened around those time frames as well? Because the thing about the septiles is that you are often handed a massive job opportunity and a really terrible coworker, or a beautiful new relationship, but the in-laws that are connected to this person are very difficult to deal with. Almost always the universe will hand us something, and it will hand us its counterpoint or its difficulty or its price tag in a way. And so it's very important for us to be able to navigate that. And what's so exciting about that is this is your own relationship with destiny, with fate. It's not something that me or any other astrologer or tarot reader or anyone can tell you about what you need to do. This is your own self building a relationship with fate and working on that road in the way that you know that you need to do, on some instinctual, spiritual, soul level. And it's incredibly powerful to engage with this energy. So I hope you've enjoyed this horoscope today. I will talk to you all tomorrow, and I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day, no matter what it is that you realize as you're looking backwards in time.